We play for keeps, Cuddy. You ain't heard about the huddle fire with no with D-Lane. We tryna get it off the muscle. Walters caught the pick and ran it back without a tussle. Blow the whistle, coach is trying to get back to the huddle.
Welcome to the 510 Huddle podcast. It's your boy, Coach D Lane, in the building with my guy and my brother this morning, Keaton. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing well, brother, and how are you doing?
Can't complain, man. We had a little bit of action last night, Monday Night Football, some basketball. I think yesterday was the last sports equinox for 2022. And yeah.
Well, actually, it ended up not being that because the baseball game got postponed.
Okay, I thought so. Yeah, because I seen today. I didn't even know the World Series was already here. Who's in the World Series? I stopped betting after like week.
And the Astros.
It's the Braves and the Astros, you said?
No, Phillies and the Astros.
Oh, Philly. Okay, yeah. I stopped betting after like that first or second round of the playoffs, man. I got a little bit of money early in late in the MLB season, though. All right, let's dive here. Let's start with Monday Night Football, though. We got a lot to talk about. Haven't heard from you guys. You guys haven't heard from us in over a week. Had some technical difficulties, and I was dealing with a little bit of sickness, and medical issues last week. But I'm straight now. We good to go, and we're gonna start off with Monday Night Football recap. Last night we had Cincinnati go to Cleveland, and they get beat down, man. They basically get beat down with no Chase. Let's start with that division first, brother. I really wanted to talk about that division, and then we can dive into that game. Can Brissett keep them alive? Right now, they're in third place. They're in third place at 3-5. Can Brissett keep them alive until Deshaun Watson get there? Right now, it's the Ravens at 5-3, the Bengals at 4-4, who the Browns just beat, and then the Browns are at 3-5. Or do you still believe it's just the Browns and the Bengals and the Ravens division?
I'd have to look at their schedule, but what I do want to say is this, especially with Jamar Chase out the next probably 5 to 6 weeks. They have Tennessee in I think 3 weeks, and then they have Kansas City after that. So I do think the Bengals will win their next 2 games because I believe they play Detroit, and then I forget who else, but they can be back at 500. Easily.
They got Miami. Ooh, it's a little tough, brother. The next 2 weeks. I ain't gonna lie, they skipped.
Because they got I'm pretty sure they have Detroit.
So they got the Dolphins next, then they got the Bills. That's an L. Then they got the Bucks, who ain't playing their best football right now. Texans, that's a dub. They got the Bengals again, then they got the Ravens again. Saints, Commanders, and Steelers. The last 3 they could possibly win is Saints, Commanders, and Steelers.
I think they have
Deshaun gonna be back. When Deshaun come back? He comes back Houston.
Yeah.
So they just really gotta get through the Bills in Miami. They need to really get through these next 2 weeks.
It's an outside chance, but because of that 17th game, I think they have a chance. I wouldn't put money on it though.
Got you. All right, let's talk about the game. Man, me and you definitely forgot about our guy Myles the Freak Garrett. Because I feel like the sacks was a steal in this game. I don't know why we didn't bet sacks. Forgot about the O-line issues for the Bengals. I think we forgot. I know I forgot because I believe Cincy's O-line, especially pass pro, has looked a lot better the last few weeks versus their run game. We know they don't have much of that right now or this year. But I definitely thought their O-line was playing a lot better and cleaner football the last few weeks, protecting Joe, making sure he wasn't getting hit and knocked down. But last night was not the case. Myles Garrett and the crew had a one-on-one last night against Joe, and you could I think Joe Mixon hit his reception line on the first drive of the game. He had like 7 receptions last night. A lot of dinking and dunking for Joe just because the pass protection wasn't there. So what was your thoughts on the game last night, brother?
This is one of those weird rivalries where the Browns are they just have their number. So that's number one. Number two, yes, the Bengals offensive line had looked better, but none of those teams had Myles Garrett. And in my estimation, Myles Garrett is the best pass rusher in all of football. There's not a lot to say. He's just freaky, and if he lines up across from you, he's just better. It's just that simple. Bengals secondary was also pretty decimated. So if you line up your second and your third and corner against Amari Cooper, it's going to be a long day. But overall, it's a great one for the Browns. Um, Bengals, you got to figure some stuff out
And man,
because your
brother,
schedule is not easy.
I'm not seeing it offensively, man, with Zach Taylor. Their philosophy from last year, our guys is just better than your guys. It worked
Yeah, same
once.
thing.
It worked once last night with the T. Higgins fade ball when he got just out jumped the guy and bean topped him for the ball. But other than that, not seeing no creativity in the run game where Joe can get no pop. It's to the point where I'm arguing with workers at my job who are Bengal fans saying Joe Mixon sucks. I'm like, bro, he was just top 10 running back last year. Like, it's not him.
He
Trust me.
still
There's
is.
no lanes, there's no creases, there's no creativity in that run game whatsoever. They're not creating leverages, not getting leverage in no run games or securing no edges in the run game. And then pass wise, I'm just not seeing no motions, no creativity. They basically was playing a lot of 2-man last night against the guys, and Joe had no in breaking routes available to him at all. And you would want to do motion. You want to do some type of motion or get bunched up and move things around a little bit when you get press man like that. Like, you don't want to just come out and get set, line your guys up and run routes against press man. Like, you have to
I
have some
think in a
creativity.
general sense, that's true. Last night specifically, they did get a lot of one-on-one looks, but the Browns were able to take that chance because they knew that pass rush was actually gonna get there.
No, for sure.
The Bengals are only gonna see too high really if it's a team that doesn't have a great pass rush. Um, if they have a pass rush, they're gonna take a lot more chances. But yeah, I mean, like, I don't disagree, but like those shots were there, but the offensive line.
No, the
couldn't hold
shots was
up.
there, brother. I don't want people to get misconstrued when I say creativity as far as offensively, because it's not just in one manner or just for the run game when I say that, or just for the pass game when I say that. Because I'm saying that to say, like, I would want to tip my hat right now to a guy like Mike McDaniels. Mike McDaniels has blown me away this year with his creativity in the quick pass game, not just the regular 5-step, the quick pass game, getting the ball out to his guys right now so they can make a play, getting the ball to his athletes and playmakers so they can just make a play in the perimeter out in space. I didn't see no creativity in the quick game last night from them. Like, if you know, Boy was getting open. No, they didn't have no DBs like the Ward didn't play, right?
No.
They didn't have no DBs that can guard him or Higgins, bro. So I'm saying I didn't see no creativity in the quick game to get them open. Downfield, they had a few shots, you feel me? But you're not going to get that with the pressure. With Myles Garrett in that front getting that pressure on you. So you should be shifting to the quick game. And I just didn't see that, man. So I'm having a very big issue with Taylor right now in that offense.
I mean, I don't disagree, but unfortunately for Joe Burrow, until they either bring in an offensive coordinator or they get a new head coach, that's just going to be life.
Got you. Let's move
And also,
on.
Nick Chubb is just awesome.
Yeah, best running back in the league right now by far. Derrick Henry's he getting back up there, but I still, me personally, how I like my runners built and how he runs, because Chubb runs behind his shoulder pads a little bit more to me. Derrick Henry still runs too upright. That was always my knock on him, but I still like him. He's a beast. I like Nick Chubb, me personally.
Are you ready to move on?
Yeah, you good? All right, I didn't know if you had issues.
No, that's it.
All right, let's move on. Let's talk about the disappointing team, man. Oh, these guys pissed me. I should be up a few bands if the Raiders just scored a couple points, because I had Carlson kicking points, the kicker. The Raiders, they drop a goose egg in New Orleans, 24-0. One catch for 3 yards for Devontae Adams. No CB1, no CB2 for the Saints. No Marcus Lattimore. He ain't playing it. Marshawn Lattimore. He ain't playing this game.
Nope.
And I'm not going to we'll talk about Tay in a minute. Yeah, we'll talk. I'll hold my thoughts on Tay. Brother, is it a Derek Carr issue at the end of the day right now, or is it a McDaniels issue? What's going on with the Raiders?
I mean, ultimately, it does fall on those two. I still don't love their offensive line. One thing about the Saints that they can still do, they're not as dominant as they once were doing this, but they can still get pressure with only four. Especially with the Raiders' offensive line, it's still not very good. If it's top half of the league, it's like 16th at best, and I don't even think they're that high.
Especially not for pass pro. But what happened to the run game? Where was Josh Jacobs?
I think when it snowballs on you, and also, like I said, like the Saints, this is what I keep saying about teams like the Chargers. The Saints have big guys in the middle. So the last few weeks, the Raiders, they weren't seeing a lot of teams that have those really big guys, those big, strong guys that can really fill. And Josh Jacobs was going nowhere quickly.
But I get when it snowballs on you, like especially if it's like a Bills type of attack. It wasn't that, brother. It was 24-0. They had action all the way fucking to the beginning of the fourth quarter. It really looked like they
midfield until the fourth quarter.
I know, and I'm saying it looked like they really cashed it in midway through. Like it looked like they were. Go ahead.
And also, I know you're gonna say this for Tay, but this is why I always pushed back when everybody was saying that he is the clear-cut number one receiver in football. I always said he's really good, which is why I still had him top 10, but I was like, that guy in 12, the way that he could spot him, just easy catches and just throw it to him, your situation matters. And that's kind of what I was always debating with like your boy Zay in our group chat. It's like your situation matters, especially when you play a dependent position. I'm not saying
debating that with the whole net because they went crazy when you had them.
But it's just true. Like,
and I see it now. Yeah.
Like Devontae hasn't lost anything. He just doesn't have 12.
Yeah, because 12 will put the ball in spots the other guy, Derek Carr.
Yeah, and it's not like the Packers offense was that creative either. So
yeah, because I'm like, I know my guy didn't lose a step, but I'm watching the game. I'm like, is it me or is he struggling to get behind these DBs versus the backups?
But that was my other point is like he's never
been a speed guy. Speed
that's why for me, because receivers all about what you prefer. I like the freaky guys where like it doesn't matter. They can just make something happen. He's not that.
No, for sure. But this is where, and I'm gonna get on his ass. This is where I put most of this shit on McDaniels. You the head coach, man. Just pop some tape in for the last 3 years of the Packers. Watch how they using him, and then watch how your ass been using him. Because it's not the same. You're not moving him around. You got him stuck on the outside. Like he just about to blow by somebody, like he DK or something. He's not that, bro. You have to move him around. Slot. You have to move him around and get him open. And I'm not seeing that. And Josh McDaniels, it's really him for me, brother. And Derek Carr, a game like yesterday is a game why Gruden, Del Rio, none of his coaches could ever fall in love with him, man. I always said he just leaves so fucking much to be desired. Like I said, he didn't have much pass protection yesterday. The O-line was getting their ass beat. No quarterback. Tom Brady can't even do shit without pass protection. I get that. But I'm saying as far as just pulling, brother, one catch for 3 yards. That's all you can get for 4 quarters. That with no Lattimore, brother. That was mind blowing to me watching that game yesterday. Like I had the Raiders locked to win that. I get they was in NO. And I get that they will lose. I mean, they could lose. Okay, that's fine. But to get goose egg, I did not see that, bro. The way they've been playing the last few weeks.
I'm going to chop it up as one of those games where everybody just decided not to show up and they just got their butts kicked. And I mean, it'll be interesting to see this week.
I got the Jags. That's a good one, too. That should be a good one.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens in their
playoffs is out the window for me. Are you still
after that one? Because I was the one saying that they still had like they still had life just based on their schedule. But after that, nah, they are.
You gotta put that on coaching, man. Right now it's for me. I'll say 60-40 McDaniels Carr. Last thing on this, I seen something on Twitter. Raiders beat writers reporting that Mark Davis is already having conversations that he may have picked the wrong head coach. What's your thoughts on that?
I mean, look, I don't know what's going on there. But up until yesterday, despite their record, I kept saying, like, I like the way that they look. They literally just need more talent because
So you
they're
think it's an
not a very.
off-season issue? Like you think McDaniels needs another off-season?
I really do because they're not that talented. All of their first round picks over the last few years are not there. A lot of their second round picks are not there. So a lot of their top 3 round guys from the last like 4+ years are not there. Um, so I just think and like I kept saying this, like when some people were saying that they're going to make the playoffs again, last year was just a magical run. They're not talented enough. They're just not, especially when you have breakdowns here and there. Like they're just not a talented
Shit, they
enough
still
team.
won 10 games and got to the All Star, brother. I can understand how you can say some can say they overachieved a bit. I'll
They
say this,
did.
brother. I'll say this right here. I will agree with you as far as giving the guy another off season. This ain't fucking college football. You ain't about to get 3-4 years to get your whole recruiting class to grow up and all that shit. But I can give you another off season. I get that.
Yeah, for sure.
But I'll say this right now: if McDaniels and his staff has another performance like that, another 1 or 2 performance like that for the rest of this season, where they come out goose egg or just get their shit stomped on, he needs to go. I'm sorry, he needs to go. That's me personally. That was on coach. You did not have your guys prepared. Being the leader of men, the head coach, your guys was not prepared to play that football game Sunday. I'm sorry.
I get it, but I get it. Like he's not without blame, but your players got to show up too, and your quote unquote best wideout in all football going up against their third corner and can't get open. That's not coaching. That's called player performance. So that's all I'm gonna say about that.
You ain't moving around enough for me. But I got you, brother. Let's move on. Let's talk about the Bay team. The San Francisco 49ers go down to LA, their second home, because it was fucking more red jerseys than blue jerseys in the stadium. 8 in a row, man. 8 in a row over the Los Angeles Rams. Do they just got their number? What's going on here? Is it the case of Big Brother beating up on Little Brother? Kyle
Yeah,
Shanahan.
it actually is because the Rams are built for speed. And the issue is the 49ers are built for speed too, but they're bigger. It's literally it's just that simple. They're bigger and they're just as fast, and it's just that simple.
Yeah, man. And every time I watch these two play, it just seems like Kyle's always a step ahead. It makes sense. He taught the kid. McVay came up under him. They all kind of run the same stuff, but it's like he's always a step ahead, and it seems like his adjustments are just like one step ahead or quicker. This game and not the last one, but the time they played in the playoffs. So 2 of the last 3 matchups, I felt like McVay, he shows his hand early, or his adjustments and everything is made early, and they come out because they came out and it was a good game. I thought the Rams was going to win that game, but Niners wasn't able to get no pressure. Kyle Shanahan was pissing me the F off, not running the ball enough. That I think he threw the ball on first down like 12 times. With Jimmy, just felt like he was putting the game in Jimmy's hands and got away from his identity, running the football a lot in that game. But the second half, things turned around. They started getting pressure on Stafford and that offense and McVay's offense. And it seems like that's kind of the routine thing that's going on right now in this matchup. I don't know what can flip it.
The one other thing that I'll say that's just going back to like my main point, adjustments sure work a lot better when you have better players, and the Rams don't and have never had better players than the 49ers, in my estimation. Their top might have more star power with Aaron Donald, but the 49ers as a roster from top to bottom, I'll take their roster. Like it's not even close.
So do you think the playoff win was luck? I mean, we'll all take luck in the playoffs or Super Bowl.
I don't think it was luck. I just think in that particular game, the Rams' star power kind of prevailed, and also Matthew Stafford in the big game. I mean, when it comes to the postseason, all in large part can usually be like determined by your level of quarterback play. And Matthew Stafford was playing at a high level, and Jimmy is Jimmy. He's not bad, but he's definitely not Matthew Stafford. I can say that. So all of that combined, which is what led to a playoff win for the Rams.
I'll say this. You got anything else on that game, brother?
No, it's pretty simple, and C-Mac is going to be great for them.
Man, yeah, I'll talk about C-Mac in a bit. Bills. Bills at home. They beat up on the Packers 27-17, but the shit really felt like 40-7. I couldn't believe A-Rod tucked his tail like that, man, and basically
I
cashed it in.
can.
Yeah, I thought I'd never see a day like that. Brady would never. But one thing I gotta give my boy Brady, he'll still get his 40, 50 attempts in. Brady would have never went out like that. I'm sorry. I could not believe that when I was watching that game. Like, damn, A-Rod, like, but I get it, because they were having success on the ground. Like I said, they ran the ball for over 300 yards, but that wasn't gonna win you that football game that day. Plain and simple. And at least not at that time, because they had already got it away from you. What was your thoughts on that football game, brother?
They were playing not to get blown out, and your Aaron Rodgers point is what I kept saying, and that's why in our preseason quarterback rankings, I had him fifth, despite him being the back-to-back MVP. Because those other guys, like those young guys, like they go out swinging no matter what. And A-Rod, I people that have been around him, they really believe this. They think that he's very conscious about where he stands in terms of like the pantheon of all-time greats, and he's never going to be considered the GOAT because he doesn't have the Super Bowl. So his one stamp to where he can be considered the GOAT, because many believe, as of right now, he's still the greatest thrower ever, is his quarterback rating and his touchdown to interception ratio. And he just has played really conservative in big spots the last few years. And that game was no different. This season has been no different. I get it. You don't have an elite receiver anymore. And the young guys, they are making mistakes. But if you keep giving them opportunities, at some point they're gonna come through, and we saw that. Like you have to give them opportunities, and whether you like it or not, like they are playing. The coaching staff believes that, and it's on you right now to bring them to like you can't just expect them to just grow up. Like it's on you as a leader and as a quarterback to help them and just bring them along. He just leaves them out hanging. So anyways, the Bills are just a better team. Josh Allen didn't have to be great, but he was still good. And yeah, that's all I gotta say. Aaron Rodgers is just disappointing in a lot of ways for me, because I always used to defend him whenever people would say Brady was better.
Yeah, I'll say this. I was just a little shocked how my guy Colin was getting on the rant or the Bills for this game, just saying they weren't able to run the football, but they ran it like 20 some times for over 150 yards. They were over 5 yards a pop. Singletary had a pretty
Well,
good game.
that's shell coverage right there. I mean, if you're
Yeah,
in shell coverage, like they want you to run. So nah,
yeah,
like if
but
they're playing like the 49ers, like they aren't running.
yeah, so
They're
I
going
was
to
shocked that Colin was saying that. I will agree though in one part, as far as them not just being able to ice the game at the end of the game. Like they had a chance they fucked me over out of $400. Fucking letting A-Rod get the ball back and get some more passing yards anyway. But they should have been able to run the ball out, brother. So I iced the game. So I do agree with them on that point. But for the game, I thought they did a pretty good job. Let's move on. Let's talk about our power rankings, brother. No, yours probably haven't changed much. Our top three probably haven't changed, right? Eagles, Bills, Chiefs. What
Yeah, it's
order you
pretty
got
easy.
it? I got Eagles, Bills, Chiefs right now. That's my order.
It doesn't matter.
You said what, brother?
I have Eagles, Chiefs, Bills in that order.
Okay, Eagles, Chiefs, Bills. Got you. My last two will be the Vikings. And then I got Seattle and the Niners right now. It's like 50-50. I'll probably put the Niners 6, but I got the Vikings and Seattle right now.
Well, I have Dallas fourth, and then I got to give credit to Minnesota just because they keep winning also. Even though I don't believe that they're better than some of these teams behind them, but they keep winning, and that means a lot especially in this league. So
Yeah, I wanted to put the Cowboys back in there. I think I had them in there last week or 2 weeks ago, But I seen them struggling last week against the Lions, the worst off defense in the league. And then shit, the Bears was playing with them and running the ball down their throat as well. They're gonna have to stop the run, learn how to stop the run if they want any action in the playoffs. Or they're gonna get ran. They're gonna get ran off the field because they
I
get
mean, if they play the 49ers, that's a
Niners are the
non-issue.
Eagles. Shit, they get the Niners or the Eagles. Who else is in that NFC? Nobody else really can run the ball, really, right?
No,
Nah.
I mean,
Niners or the
right now,
Eagles.
I think they're the third best team in the conference. So
You think that Minnesota's AFC?
no, NFC. They would beat Minnesota
Okay, let's
for
move
sure.
on. Got a couple minutes here. Let's move on. Last two segments. Most fun to watch. Brother, I don't know about you, but you know who mine is. I'm picking the white booby Miles, man. My guy, Christian McCaffrey. A passing touchdown, a rushing touchdown, and a receiving touchdown. That receiving touchdown was nasty. Looked like a natural receiver. That was nasty. And I really feel like Kyle still didn't give him the ball enough to start the game at least. But yeah, he's a stud, man. He can do it all. And I think the sweet part, I heard Sean Payton saying it this morning. I think the sweet part about him being with the Niners is he doesn't have to play 60 snaps a game and touch the ball 20 plus times a game, especially with Debo there. You know, I think he had probably 20 plus touches, like 18 carries and 20 plus touches this past game because there was no Debo. I figure with Debo there, a total, he'd get in between like 15 and 18 touches a game. And that's all he needs, really, to make an impact with those other blue chippers, man. Ayuk is a stud. Kittle, man, so I had to go Christian McCaffrey because he had a hell of a game.
This one was easy for me, and he's on your team, and it's AJ Brown. If we redid our receiver rankings right now, he would definitely be in my top 5. He is awesome.
Man,
He's so big, so like that's why I keep giving deference to those guys that are just freaky, because it doesn't matter where you put them. Like they'll find some form of success. Like they don't have to be schemed up. Those balls are just, my guy is way better than your guys, 2 of them, and he just made plays. He's awesome to watch. And Tennessee, I know you guys are winning, but you guys are just going to get your butts kicked in the postseason again. So good luck without him.
And speaking on Tennessee, we'll end it there with our Robinhood segment. And I actually picked Tennessee. I got Derrick Henry in that offensive line. And I'm going to say my guys' names, man, because they deserve the shout out. Because that was Derrick Henry, 200-yard game, 4th straight against the Houston Texans. And I believe these are their starters up front. Dennis Daly, Aaron Brewer, Ben Jones, Nate Davis, and Nicholas Petit-Frere or something like that. Definitely want to shout out all 5 of those guys, man, because big boys, they're moving some furniture around for Derrick Henry to be busting loose like that.
Well, mine is Justin Simmons. He's a lot, dude. That interception that he had, yes, that was an awful decision by Trevor Lawrence. And again, we're gonna have to revisit this sophomore year class of quarterbacks, because literally at this moment in time, I'm taking one guy, and I'm just taking the guy that has the biggest physical tools, and that's that guy that's in Chicago. But anyways,
well, my guy Rob Parker like to say, those guys are struggling. They're struggling bad.
I'll just take the guy that gives you the highest floor at this point, and that's the guy that can run. But anyways,
facts. And I was having that conversation with somebody yesterday, man. Just imagine if the Niners picked Fields with C-Mac, Debo,
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Ayuk, Kittle.
It'd be crazy.
Oh my God, bro. Oh my God. They have so many options. I think that's what they're envisioning out of Trey. And they're not gonna get that because he's not that type of athlete like Fields. But
No, he's not.
Bro, oh my God. I'm just seeing it play out. That would be nasty. That would be freaking nasty. You can run with him, you can run with McCaffrey, you can run with Debo, you can run with Wilson. He could dump it down to McCaffrey. Oh, Kittle.
Exactly.
Ayuk should be 1,000-yard receiver once they get a
really
quarterback. Yeah, because he's nasty. Like, man, oh my God. Yeah. The Niners, I was telling they look better and got a good win yesterday. Very good win yesterday. But I was telling somebody coming in this week, right now, they're the weirdest, most talented team I've probably ever seen in football, at least for this season. Like, as far as a team that really got blue, like, we've seen some good teams, overachieve or underachieve, but this is a team with blue chip talent on both sides of the roster. And they got some ugly, weird losses, man. I don't know. It's just weird, but they should be fine. We all say, like Brady and Belichick love to say, you want to play your best football in late November, December, heading into the playoffs. So hopefully they get better as the season go on. But they've had a weird season so far.
Yeah, but back to Simmons, him and Patrick Surtain, I hope that they keep those two together for at least a few more years, because Simmons is awesome, and we all know that Patrick Surtain is awesome. So, but that's my Robinhood for this week, is Justin Simmons.
All right, brother. I think that's everything we got for you guys. We'll see you Thursday night football recap. We'll see you guys Thursday. My Eagles play the Houston Texans. If you're a betting man, bet Jalen Hurts first half passing yards is stealing every week. So get on it. All right, guys. Have a good one.
All right, guys. Later.
We play for keeps, Cuddy. You ain't heard about the Huddle fire with D-Lane. We tryna get it off the muscle. Walters caught the pick and ran it back without a tussle. Blow the whistle, coach is trying to get back to the huddle.